Yeah, like there are a whole lot of these side effects that people are talking about, and
Mm-hmm.
like, it's not just about getting COVID and hopefully recovering. You are like I've heard of lots of different things, like people are getting these long-term headaches, which I know all
Oh,
about,
crazy.
and liver problems and kidney problems
Jesus.
and lung
Yeah.
problems, and it's
Yeah.
just there's so much unknown about this.
Mm,
Yeah.
I know.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Anyway, happier news.
So, talk about something fun.
I know.
Like a movie
Like
that takes place in
this
Palm
film.
Springs.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go for it.
All right. Welcome to the No Budget Indie Filmcast, where we dip our toes into the independent film universe so that you don't have to. Will you agree with our panel, or will our panel agree with each other? Tune in to find out. I am Milo Dennison, and joining me is Claire Milan.
Hello.
And Cathal Feeney.
Hello.
Today, we are talking about Palm Springs. Not the place, but the movie. The new movie stars Andy Samberg and Cristin Milioti. I think that's how she says her name. Cristin Milioti. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. But so people would, of course, recognize Andy Samberg most likely from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Cristin. I'm gonna call her Cristin.
Cristin. Yeah.
Okay.
No, there's no E. It's Cristin Milioti, maybe.
Cristin Milioti? Yeah, she used to be kind of half Italian.
Yeah. She was the mother on How I Met Your Mother, for people that watch that show.
Oh, and she was in once on Broadway as well. She originated the stage version of Girl on Broadway. And she was actually in Wolf of Wall Street as Leonardo DiCaprio's first wife in it. Yes, yeah. So I looked her up
she was also in an episode of Black Mirror.
Oh, and she was in Fargo as well.
Boy, so she's all over the place.
Everywhere.
She's everywhere.
Isn't she? But she's one of these chameleon actresses. Because I remember watching this and recognizing her, and I was like, where have I seen that face before? But it's from because I was looking up once the musical ages ago, on Broadway. So she's a fabulous singer and everything. Yeah.
Good for her. So the film is basically kind of Groundhog Day reimaged as a romantic comedy. No, I guess Groundhog Day was kind of a romantic comedy. So in essence, Andy's character and Cristin's character get stuck in this time loop while attending her sister's wedding. And they are trying to get out of it. Well, she's trying to get out of the time loop. He's kind of resigned himself to being stuck in it. And they kind of have fun with it, and that's more or less the movie. It's very Groundhog Day-ish for people who've seen that.
Yeah, well, it's a total rip-off. The idea of Groundhog Day, and that's evident from the very beginning. So it's not, they're not trying to hide it. So when you kind of do that to a classic film like Groundhog Day, you really are. You're kind of setting the bar quite high, and I think they'd pull it off. I really liked this film. That was very funny. I kind of half expected that I would like it because you had heard good things about it, but no, I just thought everything about it, the writing, the acting, the jokes were just so good, so well timed, so great comic timing throughout, and the story, and obviously. J.K. Simmons is in it, and anything that he's in is normally quite good. And then everything's just so well put together, and even the end, just a little gag at the end was just a perfect little cherry on top.
I'm surprised you liked it, Cathal. I would have, usually you're not a fan of these types of comedies.
Oh, that's not true. It's a comedy. It's funny. If you're comparing it to the Man is in the Meadow. It's miles better than that.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely better than that. But
yeah,
it's just kind of quirky comedy. But yeah, like you said, it is taking from films, as films that have been done before. So it's not necessarily totally original.
And it's funny because the writer is called Andy Sierra, and he wrote this. He was studying in the American Film Institute, and he wrote this when he was in the second year in college. The original concept. And he did. I know it is based on kind of Groundhog Day, but there is a lot of other films that are similar. The time loop, so I'm not sure if Groundhog Day was the original.
Isn't
you know,
necessarily original, yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny because I didn't actually watch the trailer or read anything about this film until I watched the film. So I didn't know it was about a time loop. You know, so when I first started watching it, so I was like, why is this guy? I think he interrupts the wedding in the first loop. So so it's like, why is this? Something's going to happen here? And I was like, oh, it's a time loop film. And I absolutely love Groundhog Day, and I love time loop films. I don't know what it is about them. They're just something that I don't know. I love the narrative structure of them. You know, when they go back over and they know. But what's so unique about this, I didn't expect, was that they both got caught up in time loop, which is fascinating. Do you know? Because on Groundhog Day, it's only the main Bill Murray, yeah. But I thought that was fascinating. And I was just reading about the writer, because in Groundhog Day, it starts off just before the where he does where he kind of does the loop. You know, there's kind of a narrative before, but this, it just goes straight into it. And he did that on purpose, because he wanted it to be like kind of a sequel to the film. You know, he didn't want to have a narrative directly before the time loop. He just starts directly into it. That was on purpose, because he wanted to distinguish it from Groundhog Day as well, because he knew there'd be comparisons. But I thought it was fascinating that they were both there, and then we saw the third guy was in the loop as well. I loved that, and I thought I don't watch was it 9? What's that series called? Something 9. You know, the one that the actor is in, Andy Samberg.
You mentioned it at the beginning.
Andy Samberg, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So I'd never seen that. So I'd never seen this actor before. But he kind of reminds me of someone else. I don't know, another comedic actor.
He was on Saturday Night Live for a number of years as well.
Oh, was he? See, I wouldn't have seen that either. Do you know, I might saw clips of it, but I just think he's, I thought him and Cristin Milioti, I don't know, sorry, I have to pronounce his surname, but just their whole chemistry between them was amazing. Like, they're both amazing comedic actors, and the way they bounce off each other. And Cristin, she actually at the start, she's a very minor character kind of in the background. I didn't realize she would come into it as a mate. Again, I hadn't watched the trailer, but it was just, I loved both of them together. They worked so well. They bounced off each other. So it was quite interesting, because this film as well, it premiered in Sundance last year or the year before, I think, or 2018, I think. But it was the highest sold film at Sundance. It was picked up by Neon and Hula. So it was sold for 17.5 million at Sundance, which is phenomenal. You know, it's isn't it? It's like for this guy, Andy Sierra, who wrote this in the second year when he was in film school, and then he wrote for other stuff when he graduated. Then he must have built up a bit of reputation to get this made. But the fact it's been like a massive success to get picked up, like, for the highest thing ever to be released to get distributed at Sundance, or from Sundance, is phenomenal. Like, I just loved it. I laughed. You know, I love the way it's filmed, and it was kind of filmed very simply as well. There was very few locations really.
Yeah, just nice kind of desert scenery there. The same locations, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he said that was done on purpose as well, because they didn't have a massive budget originally. You know, so when he was writing it, because he didn't, you know, he probably, because he's kind of a newbie, you know. So they didn't have a massive budget, so they chose to make the locations, you know, very simple. I loved it. Like, I sat down last week and watched it, and really, really enjoyed it. I didn't expect to enjoy it so much. So it's good.
Well, I always try to avoid watching trailers of films.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, you know, they either give the story away. Sometimes you feel that, or you see a scene, and then you're watching the film and you're waiting for the scene that you saw in the trailer, you know. But it was an interesting kind of, you know, twist, I guess, having the two of them in the time loop. I don't think it was a sort of a, you know, a major kind of a twist, but it was just give it something new, give them something new to work with, and there was one character as well, which I kind of thought at one stage, is she in a loop? You know, because do you remember she only appears twice in the film, I think. She tells the guy at the beginning that his speech was very good. She's heard a lot of speeches.
The old lady.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then at the end, she,
too. Yeah.
Exactly. Then at the end, she says, you know, to the girl, you know, well, since you're leaving her soon, or something like that, you know, and you're kind of like, what does she mean? Is she,
and something like, I've been to a lot of weddings, you know, like, and that was the
best
speech, you know.
That's the best speech you've ever given. You know?
Something like that. Yeah, I had that exact same thought as well when on that with her.
And I think that he's done it on purpose, because I know I looked up comments afterwards, and that's one of the comments someone mentioned as well. Like, but I think he did it on purpose to make the audience like, oh, is she in the time loop as well? You know, but it's but yeah, and very important as well, because I you know, normally I don't really watch the credits at the end, so I kind of cut it off just as the film finished. But no spoilers or anything, but just watch all the credits.
Yeah, there is an after credits.
So yeah, have you seen? Did you watch the credits, Colin?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, did you not? Oh my god! Okay.
It's nothing major.
No. No, because I went back and actually finished the film. I switched it off and everything, and then I was reading the reviews. Love reading other reviews afterwards, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, it's brilliant." Blah blah blah. So I was like, "Oh sugar, I have to go back and watch."
Yeah, so it's in case you wonder what happens to J.K. Simmons' character.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh, that.
Did you? That was yeah. So then you didn't miss it. You didn't miss anything.
Oh no, it was it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we won't say it. But no, it's really good. I didn't see it originally because I switched it off straight away. Do you know?
Yeah, it wasn't at the end of the credits. I think it was like a couple minutes into the credits it pops up. Or something.
No, I did see that. I thought it was something in the credits. Oh
yeah, no.
It's something that occurred to me as well. Is that that what we're living through now is kind of like a Groundhog Day, you know. Like the last few months anyway for me, you know, it's been like that. And and after 4 months, you know, I still haven't reevaluated my life, you know. I'm still I'm still an asshole.
But you know what, it's weird, it'll be next year when everyone looks back, or maybe 5 years time when everyone looks back in this time. It's hard to evaluate everything now, but it was a bit of a Groundhog Day, I think, the whole lockdown.
This is definitely a good, I would say, for people looking for something kind of lighthearted and to cheer you up if you are feeling a little down right now. Like, this is definitely a good film for that, because it's just a really happy film. I mean, doesn't take itself too seriously. What's nice, you're both are right. Like, the way the two of those play off of each other, they're really well cast, and it's nice that they didn't just make the film just about him. That it was really kind of both of their stories in there, which was really nice. So yeah, it's definitely one of those films that I think people, you know, most anybody would really enjoy.
Actually, I loved, one of my favorite parts was the dance sequence. Do you know, because they're in this really kind of a
when he does all his moves, kind of. I think it's brilliant. Is that the one?
With him and her, because they go back. There's this really, really horrible dive bar.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like this kind of montage.
Yeah. And they're kind of bored in the loop because, like, what can we do today? Do you know? And when they kill themselves, like, he's like, but you do still feel the pain. You know what I mean? Even though you wake up, but the fact they go back to this dive bar and they do this really cool dance sequence, and everyone's there looking at them. I thought it was brilliant. It's just so funny. Do you know?
There wasn't a bum note throughout the whole film.
It was so well paced. Like, it was just. You know, it was just, again, it's the performances as well, but it is the writing and directing. And he's actually, this is his Max Barbacco, I think. I can't pronounce their name, sorry.
Oh, Max Barbacco?
Barbakov, probably Barbakov, I'd say. Sure. But it's it's his directorial debut, it said, when I looked up.
Oh.
So I just thought, the location was great. Was it actually filmed in Palm Springs? I don't know.
I was actually in Palm Springs.
Where is it like deserty? And where is Palm Springs? It's near somewhere.
California.
California, is it?
California. Yeah. I remember. It was. We didn't have a pool. You know, like that. I was in a motel, and we just with some friends, and we were kind of on our way to Joshua Tree National Park, I think.
Oh, cool.
Or it was somewhere around there. But yeah, it was pretty like nondescript, really, to be honest.
Really?
But I just thought it's there's just an interesting idea as well. Just if you did live every day and you knew every day waking up that it was going to be the same day again, and no matter what happened that day, you could just say you were going to wake up tomorrow morning, and just living a life without consequences.
Mm.
Like how would that change you? Like obviously we get this feeling that he was in that life for years, right? And he tried to kill himself, but even like at one stage that somebody gets killed, right? They do kill somebody, and but they know that it doesn't matter, you know. So I'm just wondering, like, you know, what would it be like to you know, have that sort of state of mind that no matter what you did that day, that there were no consequences for it. I know you felt pain and you have memories, but nothing mattered, you know.
You'd be afraid if you do something like kill someone or a criminal, and that's the last loop. Like that's the one that's permanent.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. You know,
suddenly
like you come out, you murder somebody, and then hey, the loop's broken.
Yeah, you're like, oh crap. Do you know? Because that's what I was worried about in the film. I was like, I was watching it. Which one? You know, because you don't know if it'll continue tomorrow. But it's funny because Cristin, she actually studied physics, you know, quantum physics, or you know.
You mean in the film? You're kind of
in real life.
Spoiler alert territory.
Sorry, no, it's very spoiler. It's just like in real life, she studied about these things just to, you know, up her knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this is kind of method acting sort of thing, is it? Okay. Yeah. No, it would have been funny, like if you came out of that loop and you killed somebody, and then you end up going to jail for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like you don't know, you know.
I read an article, and I think they said, I don't remember if it was mentioned the director or the writer or whatever, but basically they said that he was in the loop for about 40 years. And
40? That was the idea.
Yeah. God. And so when he because he has a line, she asked him about something, and he's like, I don't remember. You know, you can kind of see because he's trying to remember 40 years back prior to being in this loop of like, you know, you might forget some stuff. Like imagine coming out, because I'm thinking like 40, you know, like if I had to go home and remember my phone number or if I had a locker, you know, at school and like I wouldn't remember the locker phone, you know, number, that kind of stuff, like all those numbers and things that you remember in life because you use them regularly. But if you go 40 years without using them.
But that's kind of horrendous, isn't it? Like to be after 40 years, I mean, you think he does seem to be quite upbeat, you know, quite positive.
Yeah, for 40 years, you think he'd be absolutely, you know.
He probably went through that phase after 20 years. The thing,
he probably went for the now, because I think when she meets him, he's just kind of in acceptance phase of just, I'm just going to show up, drink.
So what other films are there like this? So we have Groundhog Day, obviously, is one, but isn't Looper to go back as well?
Yeah, it's not fully like a time loop type film, though. It's more of he goes back in time and.
Was the one with Donald Gleason? Is that it?
Oh, I love that. About Time.
Is that it?
Yeah, I loved that film. It's one of my favorite films. And then there's one with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. I forget the name.
Oh yeah, that one, the Live, Die, Repeat.
Yes.
That actually wasn't too bad of a film, you know, for a Tom Cruise action flick. Yeah.
Oh, the Tom Cruise was that? That wasn't the.
Yeah, he was like, so he's in like it's like a war thing, and
yeah. Sorry, I thought you said Tom Hanks. Yeah,
Tom Cruise. Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah, that was very good actually.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Like it was
yeah,
much better than you would have thought it would have been.
But all those you used the theme of time travel, you know. But this was like more or less Groundhog Day too.
I wonder, is there one that's old? There must be one that kind of originated this, like way back.
The original time loop.
You know what I mean? Before Groundhog Day took off.
Oh, I'm sure there was.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose the original time travel film was The Time Machine.
Time Machine, yeah.
H.G. Wells.
Good. Did you watch that original one? That was really good. Classic film people should watch.
I heard a theory like years ago that there are infinite parallel universes. So for every action that you make throughout a day, there's another parallel universe for the infinite number of other actions that you could make, you know. So instead if I move my hand over here, that there's another universe where I don't move my hand, you know, and so it's just an infinite number of parallel universes.
Yeah,
so there's a universe out there where my life isn't so shit.
That's what I was thinking. It's like there's another person of me who's really successful or somewhere, do you know, in another parallel universe, you know. But it's it's an intro. I've actually thought about that. Or so it is. Maybe there is. You know, we never know.
Damn it! And we're on the wrong one.
I know.
Well, should we rate it then?
Yeah.
All right. Who wants to go first?
Okay, I'll give it 4.5 out of 5 because I did love it, but I just can't give it 5 because it didn't absolutely blow me away. But I loved it. Really, really enjoyed it.
I've been given a lot of 5s lately, and I'm kind of thinking that it's undermining my credibility as a sort of as a film rater. But that being said, I'm going to give it 5 because I just really loved it, you know. And comedies, I think they don't get the recognition in a lot of respects that they deserve, you know. That I don't know, maybe they don't necessarily speak to the human condition or something like that. But no, I really liked this. I just thought it was just a good laugh. It was, and it wasn't a film that was kind of obviously looking for laughs, you know, like some kind of silly comedy, you know, like the kind of which we talked about before, you know, where it's this is obviously going to be, this scene is obviously funny, you should laugh at this. It's just very, very clever writing and acting. And as I said, it was some respects like the short film we talked about last week, which we haven't put out there yet. But it's just, there was nothing.
I think this one will probably be going out before that one, actually.
All right. Well, anyway, look, I just thought it was a perfect film for the type of film that it was. So I give it 5.
I think, what did we? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I might put this one out before that, and then I'll put that one out after that, just to throw the order up.
Yeah.
But that's still 2 5s in a row for you, though, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to pick next week's one, so I'll try and pick one that like.
You're like, I'm not going to like this. I'll pick it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I really liked it as well. It's definitely one of those films that you could watch, you know, again, like, you know, if you're looking for something just kind of light and comedic. So I'm gonna go 4 stars as well. I think it's a good. I know that's the lowest of the 3 of us, but 4 stars is good. And yeah, I don't know why I'm not giving it a 5-star. I think you're right, Cahal. I think comedies don't get credit. Like it's like only if it's a super serious drama it gets 5 stars. In the same way it only gets Oscar nominations. And
this,
so,
if you analyze this and the script and the
wait, he's changing.
Oh, is he? Oh, sorry.
I'm not going to change it. I know, but I'm ashamed of myself for I'm acknowledging that I'm buying into that. And when I think of like brilliant comedies, though, it's not quite there. It's a great comedy, but I can think of other comedies that I would put in the 5-star category. And it's just
okay, now you have me thinking. I mean, a direct comparison is Groundhog Day, which was
Groundhog Day is a 5-star comedy.
Is a classic, you know. So maybe this isn't quite as good. So, but I'll stick to it.
All right.
I don't think this will be a classic. I don't think it will. It might be an underrated hit, like Groundhog Day. It won't be like Groundhog Day status, but it'll be.
It's unfortunate in a way that it's come out in the middle of the pandemic, because I'd say if this hit the movie theaters, that it would actually, you know, do really well.
Really well, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But instead, it's only on Hulu. So if you want to watch it, sign up for Hulu. There you have it, filmmaking fans. We all really enjoyed this film, and we think you definitely should go and check it out. So find it on Hulu. Let us know what you thought via a comment or contacting us via the No Budget Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook page. And with that, we will say see you next time, and good night.